Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring the Alien role-playing game core book. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review featuring this tabletop role-playing game based on the popular sci-fi horror franchise, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about the Game Master section, or rather the Game Mother. This contains all of the principles to run an effective Alien RPG session. Information on how to riff from the movies, recreate or take inspiration from your favorite scenes in the films. You also have details on how to limit the resources of the player characters to get them more tense, giving just enough ammo or perhaps very little ammo, keeping scarcity a real threat. Also about staying in the shadows, keeping the enemies a threat unseen that is much more terrifying than that which jumps out of nowhere immediately all the time. You also have details on increasing the pressure, start easy and slowly, adding more and more complications to the situation. Then, every now and then, you let them breathe. Have them lower their guard in order to develop their characters, fuel their agendas, and then bring back the horror. And of course, have casualties every now and then. This is a horror role-playing game. Make sure that the player characters and non-player characters are constantly under the threat of death. And of course, reveal the universe from the Alien franchise little by little in all of its harsh and unforgiving glory. You also have details on space horror itself, how to recreate that space is hell. It is a harsh place. Everything is about to kill you, accidentally or incidentally. And greed plays a very important part. You are usually playing as blue-collar workers trying to make their lives a bit easier, while greedy corporations and governments, nations, they are trying to take control over everything. It's also important to introduce sci-fi action with expendable assets. Being a soldier is being someone in constant risk in this setting, even more so than in your standard sci-fi experience. And even if you are not a combatant, the conflicts and wars between the nations and corporations could engulf your entire life. When it comes to the sense of wonder, the Alien RPG also explores things such as the origin of life, our place within reality, within existence. It's also important to represent the fear of the unknown, the loss of control, the horrible choices or questionable choices. You also have details on the 3 stages of fear: dread, when something bad is about to happen; terror, when you know that something bad will happen any moment now; and horror, when something terrifying, horrifying, nightmarish is currently happening. There are also details on how to manage the stress levels. Perhaps the player characters are looking for a place to hide, are trying to calm each other down. There are also details on how to handle splitting the team. It's important to keep everyone involved in the action, even if you have to jump from one subgroup to the other. You also have details on how to create non-player characters with their attributes, skills, talents, etc. How to roleplay those non-player characters and use them with different groups, perhaps as part of the party itself, that is with the player characters. You also have details on cinematic play. The structure of cinematic scenarios is all about having prologue, the situation, the characters, locations, acts, and events, and an epilogue. And because it is quite cinematic, you usually experience many deaths and are focused more on self-contained play, just like a 2-hour film. While in campaign play, this is all about goals and rewards. Develop the player characters. Do not introduce the aliens all the time. Have them fight the corporations, criminals, governments, etc. And then you bring the true horror, the aliens, when they least expect it. You could even run an entire session without the alien threat, if you deem it appropriate. But I recommend that you always keep the alien threat as some sort of veiled hazard in the background, something that is waiting to strike. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about governments and corporations. I really like this section, this Game Mother or Game Master section. It is quite complete, very useful. giving you actual tips and advice on how to recreate the alien films if you wanted to, or similar situations, and of course how to go in a particularly different direction in order for you to combine the human threats, the corporations, governments, nations, etc., and then using the alien threat with pinpoint precision. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.